Though the Brotherhood lost the 5th and 6th battles of Ruusan, the influx of masters from the Academy on Korriban and Sith fleet blockading the planet greatly increased their odds of victory going into the 7th battle. Yet the outcome was by no means assured, as the Jedi retreated into the forests to wage a fearsome guerrilla war. Thus, it was during a strategy session that Darth Bane arrived, shocking Kaan and Githany, who thought him dead. Surviving their assassination attempt, Bane pretended he still cared about winning the battle and joining the Brotherhood, offering to teach them about a powerful dark side ritual that would burn the entire forest and destroy the Army of Light. Agreeing to his idea, the Sith gathered to create a massive force storm, but just before it began, Githany approached Bane to apologize for choosing Kaan, saying she hadn't realized until now how powerful he truly was, and why he needed to go on his journey alone. Reconnecting like old times, she insisted her loyalty was with Bane, eager to support his bid for power against Kaan. Though he had not yet revealed the full scope of his plans, she was steadily convincing him she might indeed be a worthy apprentice for his new Sith Order. Performing a powerful dark side ritual, the Sith channeled their energy through Bane as a conduit, setting the forests on fire with vicious lightning strikes, thereby forcing the Jedi into the open. Yet the storm soon faded away as Kaan disrupted the ritual before it could completely destroy the Jedi, rightly fearing the tremendous power Bane held in that moment. Unwilling to admit the real reason, Kaan claimed he stopped the ritual because it accomplished what they wanted, forcing the Jedi into the open, and so ordered the Brotherhood to their speeder bikes for a final charge against the enemy. Grabbing Githany by the arm, Bane tried to talk her out of joining in this foolish attack, but she was taken by battle lust and claimed Kaan was right to order the charge, as killing Jedi in combat was more fun. Disappointed to hear such a vain and thoughtless explanation, he let her go, deeming she was too set in her ways to change, too corrupted by Kaan's teachings to ever become a worthy apprentice. Coming up with a new plan, Bane returned to their camp where he was approached by Lord Cordis, who pledged himself to the young Darth, believing he was the inevitable successor to Lord Kaan. But Cordis, like Githany, wanted to reform the Brotherhood rather than destroy it, and so Bane refused his allegiance, using the Force to squeeze the life from his body. Reaching their communication equipment, Bane ordered the Sith fleet around Ruusan to break formation, allowing Jedi reinforcements to arrive and end Kaan's chances of winning the war by conventional military tactics. Enraged by this betrayal, Kaan confronted Bane, who explained the thought bomb was the only way to truly eradicate the Jedi. Believing himself more telepathically powerful, Kaan attempted to forcibly manipulate his enemy into subjugation, but Darth Bane was far past such petty tricks and simply feigned obedience, while at the same time reversing the manipulation, making Kaan believe the thought bomb would work and destroy the Jedi. Leaving Bane behind, Kaan gathered all other Sith Lords and led them to a cave system, where they hoped to lure the Jedi into a final confrontation. Suspecting a trap, most of the Jedi fled the planet, while Master Hoth led 100 of his comrades to the caves, seeking to trick Kaan into thinking all Jedi were gathered so he would unleash whatever weapon was prepared, thereby preventing it from being used against innocent people in the future. Though Githany began to doubt Kaan's plan in their final moments, seeing madness in his eyes, she was unable to escape the blast, which killed nearly every Force sensitive in the vicinity, trapping their spirits to wander aimlessly for thousands of years. In addition to killing Hoth and his 100 Jedi, all Sith were gone, save for Githany's young apprentice Darovit, who was protected by his minimal Force sensitivity, and Dark Lord Kopaj, who managed to get away in time, preferring to die in lightsaber combat by charging against the Jedi surrounding a cave exit. As Hoth was dead, leadership of the Army of Light fell to Valentine Farfalla, a fervent supporter from early on, though he sometimes disagreed with Hoth's decisions. Believing the Brotherhood was no more, the Jedi and Republic finished off the last of the Sith fleet and army, claiming victory in the war. What they did not know, however, was that everything that occurred was by the design of Darth Bane, who survived as the last living Sith, thereby earning the right to name himself a true Dark Lord, with plans to rebuild the Order stronger than before. Yet in order to begin this new era, he needed to impart his knowledge upon a student, as there must be two, a master to embody the power of the dark side, and an apprentice to crave that power. For all his skill, Bane knew he could not defeat the Jedi alone, and that his Sith Order must have patience, gradually working in the shadows to build a secret power base, a process that might take centuries, requiring worthy heirs to his legacy. Meanwhile, in another area of the planet, a 10-year-old girl named Rain walked with her bouncer companion, a local, intelligent, telepathic species in the shape of a floating ball. Born into a family of Force sensitives, Rain, along with her 2 cousins, were recruited by the Jedi and brought to Ruusan for training as warriors despite their young age. But an attack on their ship caused a crash landing, leaving her alone and stranded in the wild. Surviving thanks to a kind bouncer who found her and stuck by her side, she wandered the forests until encountering a pair of Jedi who mistakenly killed the bouncer, believing it a threat to the girl. Devastated at the murder of her only friend, Rain's rage erupted in a massive burst of raw dark side energy, snapping the necks of both unsuspecting Jedi. Collapsing onto the murdered body of the bouncer, Rain wept in quiet desperation until found by Darth Bane as he walked through what remained of the planet. Looking over the scene and deducing what occurred, Bane introduced himself, feeling great dark side potential in the girl. To his surprise, she gave no hint of fear or hesitation in her response. Even when he tried to scare her by saying he was a murderer, she simply stated that she was too. Found at the lowest moment of her young life, Rain eagerly listened to the Dark Lord's description of the Order, his rule of 2, and the power they would wield, ultimately agreeing to become his apprentice. By tradition, she had the right to choose a new name, so Rain became Darth Zannah, apprentice of Darth Bane and Dark Lord of the Sith. Returning to the Brotherhood's camp on Ruusan, Zannah saw the power of the dark side in full effect when Bane easily killed a number of mercenaries looting the area and learned an important lesson when he let the last 2 escape unharmed, explaining that needless killing was a vanity and a pair of easily bought scoundrels were not a threat, as no one would believe their wild tales of surviving Sith. Gathering whatever might be useful, including artifacts, manuscripts, and the personal ledgers of Lord Cortus, revealing the financial accounts where he stored his great wealth, Bane took his apprentice to see the cave where Kaan released the Thought Bomb, further expanding upon his Rule of 2 philosophy while she felt the site's dark side energy. Yet their bonding moment was soon interrupted by Daravit, the Sith apprentice of Githany, who survived the Thought Bomb and just so happened to be one of Zannah's beloved cousins. Though they initially embraced, Zannah quickly realized she was now a Sith and he was in danger. Needing to end their relationship while also ensuring he survived, she used the Force to destroy his hand, hoping this display of strength would convince Bane to spare his life. Though Bane easily saw through her charade, he allowed this mercy as she was new to the Order and not yet properly trained. When at last the time came to depart from Ruusan, Darth Bane left alone, ordering the 10-year-old Darth Zannah to find her own way to the planet Onderon, where they would meet in 2 weeks. By completing this mission, she might prove herself a worthy apprentice, and the real training would begin. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like John Amber of White Fork, Tim Parachado, and Lady J Book Nerd. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.